What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Live, welcome to the second
Uh,
episode official of Away Games podcast. My name is Zim Obi, and this is.
Sean,
And that was
I,
slow,
I don't
fam.
even know what else to say. Do you know what? I need to figure out another way to call myself. I don't even know, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm Sean in it.
It's true, you
Uh,
don't dawn, fam. But that's.
nah,
I don't know if they're ready to know about
that's
that. Yeah,
that's
the
special.
TD, yeah,
Nah, yeah,
private jet, yeah,
that's
private,
special.
yeah.
That they'll
Hungry.
find they'll find out about TDL when all of TDL blows. They'll find out about TDL.
That would be special. That'll be a special moment. When I think about in New York, I think Busta Rhymes, Jay-Z, and someone else, was it Nas? Maybe someone else went to the same
Mm.
school and they all
I
bust.
think it was Nas.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a special thing for him. So
They all used to have clashes in the playground.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just,
that's
just getting
crazy.
just getting a bit cold in here. Sorry. What's
It's a bit
oh what's
chilly.
oh is this it's a Man United scarf? Oh oh sorry I didn't see that. Oh sorry sorry about that. You know this ain't even a proper scarf. Like it don't have the right material. But
What do you
I
mean?
got it at Old Trafford, so I just keep it as decoration rather than wearing it for the cold.
It
But
is what
anyway,
it is.
it is what it is. So what are we starting on? What are we starting on? Starting on the FA Cup, yeah. That's gonna
Of
be our
course,
top.
it's FA Cup weekend. We're to talk
Yeah,
about the FA Cup.
hundred
Let's
percent.
talk about what happened. Games, goals. Obviously, the game of the round, as we said,
Mm-hmm.
Man United versus Liverpool. I think we should start there.
Yeah,
Hit them straight with
straight
the
away. Where should I start on?
straight
There's many
away.
things to start on. There's one last week we were saying, Bruno Fernandes doesn't score in big games.
But
You know,
one
it's
thing
like
about Bruno is Bruno doesn't
it's
score
so
against them in the top
arbitrary.
six.
And then all of a sudden he scores in the big game and the win and goal. Like for me, I just think football fans are so fickle, and that's why I
Fickle.
don't really buy into. Is that another arbitrary situation?
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no. I was
yeah.
agreeing. Fickle.
Okay, cool. So I
So
just
when
feel
you said
like
fickle, I was like fickle because that's how fickle they are.
okay, cool. So I feel like obviously fans chop and change all the time their opinion, and with Bruno
Mm,
because it's like everyone as humans, yeah, we have agendas, we have things that we have biases towards, and then
mm,
anytime there's a reason to like prove our bias right, we
mm,
like jump on that. So
mm,
Bruno not scoring in a against a big six team, or him giving possession away easily, just little
mm.
things like that to
Yeah.
mask the good that he does. I'm just like,
Mm,
nah, man, that's nonsense, isn't it? People just
mm,
spewing nonsense, and I really don't like that about fans. Like, I don't listen to
mm,
a lot of these fans. So obviously he scores today,
mm,
and I think what in obviously since last year since he came, yeah, I think
mm.
next weekend's his anniversary of when he came,
1 year, yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
or even this weekend, and yeah, no one scored more goals than him, and he's not even a striker. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's goals and assists. I think only like
You know what
Lewandowski is really doing more numbers than him right now, which is
you know what I love about his goal is the
what
fact that it was a free kick.
it's
Obviously, with Sterling saying free kicks are overrated
yeah, that's
as
quite
a shot
funny.
at Bruno,
That's
then
funny.
Bruno coming and banging a free kick.
That's
I rate it.
hilarious. But
I rate it.
it was just a penalty to him, just outside the box. That's all. Do you know
Mm.
what I mean? It was just it was
But
basically a penalty to him.
do you know what? I also respect because I was watching. Obviously, I'm sure you watched the game as well. But I was listening
Yeah.
to Jermaine Genius,
Mm.
and he was like, if I was taking this free kick, I'd go goalkeeper side low, and he actually did it and
He
scored.
did
And I
it.
was like,
Yeah.
all right, well
All
done,
right.
Genius.
Do you know what? Liverpool's wall was weird because they put the taller people on the outside, so it's like they
Right.
were trying to trick Bruno into going for that like this
Mm-hmm.
opposite side of the goalkeeper. But no, Bruno, you can tell he's good at poker. Like he's got a good game face. You can't tell what he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do. So I
I
rate
agree.
him. Yeah. Um, so yeah, he was obviously outstanding. Just came on in like on the 60th minute. It was good to see my Donny, get a little run out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
True.
didn't have an amazing game, but when you don't have multiple games on the bounce, it's hard to like get into the swing of things in the
With
flow.
him. What do you
Um,
think of Pogba?
Pogba was
His
obviously really
performance.
good, but as I said, fans are fickle in it, so I don't really want to hear people really compliment it.
Mm.
One thing I was thinking about when people assess Pogba, especially in the last year, it's always been questioning his ability, and then
Yeah.
what they do, like since his since the last 2 months or so, they've been like, oh, we've never questioned his ability. We just say he doesn't do it often enough. No, you did question
There's
his ability.
questioning his.
You
There's
you were
questioning
saying you
his.
were saying, oh, he doesn't do it enough, so maybe he doesn't have the ability. Like, just shut up, innit?
Mm,
Like, there's some people, you know how they say the difference between a Premier League player, top class player, and a football league player is that
mhm.
the Premier League players do it consistently, right? But
Yeah,
there's levels within the Premier League. There's things that
there is.
Pogba does that other players can't do. Not that they
Mm-hmm.
don't do it often, they can't do. When he plucks the
Mm,
ball out from the air, like, and he's like doing some parkour on the ground, like his flair, his touch, like both feet, and the fact that it's nuts. So when people are
he
like,
is.
oh yeah, other people might have more ability, like comparing Henderson and so, don't do that in terms of ability. If you want to say consistency, yeah, just stick to that. Just stick to consistency. Don't
Mm,
ever talk about ability. It's annoying. And this game, it was the opposite of ability. He was just putting himself about, and he knew the times to calm down the game. Like, he just had a solid, reassuring
mm.
performance, which obviously
I
can.
think a lot of people in the United shirt had a good performance.
Mm,
Even somebody I want to pick up as well is Luke Shaw.
yeah.
Everywhere,
Big up.
everywhere. And I think that's the crazy thing about Man United at the moment is I feel like the team is in a way clicked, and I
Mm,
think that clicking is now allowing them to play the way that they are and to get the results that they're getting because the team
mm,
is now working better together. Because sometimes that does take time, because you
mm,
have the players there, but you just need that one element that's going to bring it all together. And I think that was Bruno.
mm,
I
mm,
think
mm,
last
mm.
season when Bruno kind of dragged Man United towards the way that they finished last season,
Yeah.
and then this season, I feel like it's just clicked and it's just worked out
You
and
think,
it's working.
just a little question to you, like, do you
Mm.
think it's only Bruno? Do you not think,
I think he was the final piece.
so you still don't want to backtrack on what you said about Cavani?
Even though he's playing well, I'm still not going to backtrack on it because United didn't want him. Genuinely,
You're stubborn, you
United.
know.
No,
You're really
no,
stubborn. It's not
no, because
as a father. I
no,
guess, yeah.
no,
As a
no,
father,
no,
you have
no,
to be
because
kind of stubborn. Like,
yeah,
I don't-
but
you can't.
but I think no, you missed my point about the Cavani situation. The Cavani situation isn't the fact that he was a bad player. I never said he was a bad player.
He did.
I just said United didn't want him.
No, you said he was a bad player.
Yeah, because he misses so many sitters.
You're, you're backtracking everything other than your point.
Yeah,
You did say he was a bad
no,
player.
yeah, I did it. That yeah, because he misses sitters. But to be fair, he hasn't scored many neither. So, and I don't even see what he. Okay, fair enough. He won you the free kick. Ooh,
So, ooh. Yeah, no, we just haven't had a striker like him. Um, well, yeah, obviously we've brought in the likes of
one
Ibrahimovic
thing I
and
will admit is his movement is
a
A
striker,
class.
like a proper striker's movement.
His
Yeah,
movement
man.
is
Come on.
he's got
And
good
his
moves.
heading ability, like,
Yeah, because
just
obviously again he misses sitter.
for free,
Um,
fam. Man got him for
huh?
free.
No,
Man,
but I'm just reminding you that he missed a sitter.
when
The the header that hit the post.
that's- don't do
That's
that.
very Cavani.
Don't be one of those
That's very
people.
Cavani.
Don't say
No,
that's a
very
sitter.
Cavani.
Like,
It
don't
was
come. So if someone had a tap in, like, you're using the same terminology you would say if someone had a tap in and missed that with the header that he hit their post with.
yeah.
Don't yeah, stubbornness. I get it. I get it. I get it. You're a dad. You don't want like children talking back to you. Just I get it. I get it. So
No,
you're building up from now.
he
Anyway,
no.
that it was a
Carrying
good.
on.
I was happy with the performance. Like, I can't be mad at that. I'm hoping Rashford isn't too injured, but we'll see what the next few weeks have in store for United. So yeah, man.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
No, I think United. I think you really are in the title race this season. Obviously, Man United just losing KDB. I'm not
Imagine.
saying you're going to win the league, but I think you're going to be. I think the top three. No, I'm not saying that. I lied. Let's leave it at that.
I like how unpredictable this season is as well. It's actually, for a neutral, this must be so fun. Like, the last few seasons, it's just been really predictable. Well, top two has been predictable, but
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah,
The
but
rest, the
now
rest.
it's like you have no clue because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, anyone just needs like a string of games, good form. Bob's your
And
uncle.
they've
You know?
and they've
So
won the league.
what do you think about Arsenal? Like, obviously, you actually I could share the text, but before the game, you literally said, "How Williams playing? We've lost." You literally said it, and I tried to make you come out of that. I was just like, fam, rate him a little bit, tiny bit, please. And then you're like, okay, maybe not lose, but he's not going to do anything for us. And then come after the game, it's not just you. It's not just. I'm seeing every Arsenal fan
Every
have it
Arsenal fan
in
seen it,
for him. I didn't realize
bro.
he was that scapegoat player. Not like,
No, no,
not
no,
just
no, no, no,
scapegoat.
no.
I mean, when I say scapegoat, I'm not saying he isn't the reason. I'm saying that's the thing that's going wrong at Arsenal, and every Arsenal fan
Arsenal
doesn't
have
like him.
lost every game he's played except for Fulham, which is our first
The
game
debut,
of the
right? That
league.
was the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and we've drawn two, lost every other game that he's played. On top of that, we've scored none in every game he's played,
but
something like that.
you see
And then on
these
top of
things,
that,
yeah. Sorry, sorry,
no, no,
sorry.
no, don't forget he's the attacking player. So
Yeah.
therefore, things like goals and us winning games are based upon him quite a bit. And then second of all, as well, is he's had two shots since he joined Arsenal,
No,
and
no,
both of them are off target.
no. Didn't he score
Two
on the
shots.
debut?
No, he assisted
Oh,
twice.
eesh.
And
That
the thing
happens, man. That
is
happens.
nah. And the thing is not. Do you know what it is? I
Bruh.
think that debut
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we got a player on our hands. We
Mm,
needed that kind of quality, and we knew what Willian was like. Like Willian was scary playing for Chelsea, and I know he tormented Arsenal for years.
mm.
So when we had him, we was just like, okay, maybe this is a really good sign. It's gonna be positive for like Saka, positive for Pepe, positive for certain man.
Mm.
Even Martinelli, he's gonna bring in a lot of experience, and
Experience,
he's
yeah.
gonna help push the team a bit more. Nope,
Nope.
nope, nope, nope.
Oh, Sean. I
Done nothing, nothing,
maybe in
zero,
training,
zero.
he might
And the thing
be
is,
showing that Brazilian flair in training, you know.
and I think he is. Because that's why he's getting picked. That's the only reason why he's getting picked. Because in training, he's showing that he can do this. And the thing is, I've been arguing with Arsenal fans this whole weekend because obviously everybody's on their Arteta out bandwagon.
Still.
Yeah,
Oh
honestly,
yeah, yeah. That game
and
would have helped obviously.
my issue with that at the game against Southampton is people
Mm.
are like, oh well, why didn't Arsenal play their best team? And I've genuinely said to every Arsenal fan, explain to me who should be better, Smith Rowe or Willian, Pepe or Saka. Who should be in the first team, and who should be the player that we're looking at saying they shouldn't have played that game? Clearly, it's Pepe and Willian should have been playing in the first team, and Saka and Smith Rowe should be coming into the team, but it's not. It's the other way around. Willian and Pepe are not performing. There is no way that you can say to me Arteta fielded a weak team. We had Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Willian, Xhaka, El Neni, Rob Holding, Cedric, Hector Bellerin. Like our team was strong.
It was funny, yeah. So your fan base right now is in disarray. Like the people, you get different viewpoints from all corners
Arsenal's fan base has been in
of
disarray for
everywhere.
ages.
So one thing I'm noticing over the last few months in football, and it's always been the case, but it's just funny when it's brought to your attention again.
Mm,
Wins solve everything, and as simple and obvious as that is to say,
mm-hmm.
it's just like Ollie. But the thing about Ollie though, we
Same.
do have
Wait,
fans who are still
I
saying like
literally,
he's not good
I
enough.
literally, I literally had an argument with one fan, yeah,
Yeah.
who went from saying to me, "I'd rather do better in the league than win the FA Cup," to us then losing the FA Cup yesterday, to him saying we should have focused on the FA Cup. What do you want the man to do?
Oh, yes, that's nuts. That's nuts. But those people you just don't listen to because they're delusional.
Not
So
at all. Not
that's
at
the thing with online. It's hard to
mm,
separate the people who like actually have a brain
are
cell.
serious.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
for
saying?
real.
So I
Mm,
just ignore them fans there. But yeah, no, generally it's a sticky situation because obviously there's no fans in the ground, and I think that obviously affects how you play it. It's if the fans are not happy.
mm,
But because
mm,
the fans get a lot of traction online, and then newspapers and the media pick up on that,
mm.
that puts another sort of pressure. So with Arsenal fans not singing the same tune, it's there's pressure regardless. And I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys probably just need that key signing. You probably need like a I don't know about our in terms of
Mm,
mentality because sometimes it's not the quality of signing you need. Yeah,
mm.
you need a bit of
Pepe.
quality.
Pepe.
Yeah, exactly. It's the leadership ability. It's
Mm-hmm.
knowing what to say and do at certain times. And
Mhm.
yeah, like I think obviously Cantona was like that. Bruno has that vibe. When I see
Mm.
him shouting on the pitch, like we haven't had that, you know.
Mm.
And sometimes you just need that, you know.
Yeah, I
So
think I don't think Arsenal is that kind of team, but I think because we're apparently what I'm hearing from rumors today is that Odegaard is in London.
mm,
Martin Odegaard is in London,
who you
so I think
taking?
that's done.
Yeah,
I would take it because Emma Smith Rowe needs a number two,
that's yeah. So
and I
okay,
think
with that, yeah. Do you think Smith Rowe is better than him, or is it just that Smith Rowe is more likely to be Arsenal's future? So you would take him?
Smith Rowe is Arsenal's future.
Okay, yeah,
Odegaard is coming on a 6 month loan spell.
yeah,
So
100%.
therefore, where you're coming on a 6 month loan spell, you're just here to fill a gap for the season. So
Mm,
with him filling that gap for the season, I would
yeah,
take him.
fair
I would
enough.
have rather we brought in a war, but if we're gonna take Odegaard for 6 months, we get to see another player,
Yeah.
see what he's like, see if he can adapt.
Yeah.
And if he can, then maybe we sign him in July, sorry.
These loan spells, like 6 month ones, can be quite useful. Like
Very.
normally they have the option to buy afterwards, and I think Tamori's moved to AC Milan. Let's see how he
Mm.
does. But yeah, like
Option to buy 25 million.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's a good move for him. AC Milan are doing
Mm-hmm.
pretty well in Syria, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, if Chelsea have more, like just slightly to shift onto Chelsea, yeah. If they have more defensive issues, then their fans will be saying, "Oh, like Tomori was there, like da 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 da." So
Mm-hmm.
Lampard's under a lot of pressure. And one thing I
He
wanted to
is.
ask you, yeah, what makes a top class manager in your opinion? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll caveat what kind of answer I want. So yeah, what in your opinion, what makes a top class manager?
So do you know what's funny is I've actually been thinking about something, and one thing that I've realized between Klopp and Pep
Mm,
is there's a reason why Klopp is having the issue that he's having, and Pep isn't.
okay.
Is Klopp had that front three for the past 4 or 5 years, and
Yeah.
usually between that time you have to change it up a little bit, bring some new fresh blood, whatever. And
Yeah.
obviously he brought in Diego Jota, but switch to Man City now. Cancelo's new, Diaz is new, Fernando Torres is new.
Mm,
Who else has got? Bernardo Silva is fairly young. Foden is basically kind of new.
mm.
He's basically already changed that team, and we haven't even noticed the transition.
Well,
It's
last
just
season
happened.
in a way was a transition though. You
It
could
was a transition,
so
but it wasn't. But they came second. They were
mm,
still on the heels. Whereas Liverpool's drop has been like, whoa, when did Liverpool get this bad? If that makes sense, they're not the worst team, but when did they get to this point where
uh,
literally every single game they're playing, they look like they could lose it?
so I just find Liverpool's reaction so funny because it's so dramatic. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're the worst fans. I hate them so much, and
Mm-hmm.
I have so many brethren from school who were
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal fans, yeah. And like in group chats, they were so jarring, and
Mm-hmm.
like Man
We
United
are.
Arsenal
We are.
rivalry. It's obviously
Whatever.
massive in it, like especially our generation, our era. But
Definitely.
so someone said, you lot from London who support Man United, you lot don't actually dislike Liverpool fans or Liverpool. You just do that because the media makes you think you have to. I'm like, bruv, you probably just don't know Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans in
Mm-hmm.
London, they're terrible. The only thing is that it wasn't them and us in the title race every season, but the ones that
Mm-hmm.
like supported Liverpool, they were talking. I'm like, what? Why are you talking? What have you got to talk
Mm-hmm.
about? And then obviously they won the Premier League last season, and they're just come. Well, no, last couple of seasons, won the Champions League 2 seasons. They're coming out like flipping bats at night. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
coming out from nowhere, and it's like it just irks me. So
Mm-hmm.
with Jurgen Klopp, like I think yeah, obviously top class manager, but
Mm-hmm.
the caveat I was talking about, the reason why I brought it up was because um when you have like a team with top class players, and then obviously the manager is seen as great, right? And then they win something normal, yeah. Then
Mm-hmm.
if that manager goes, or they bring in an average manager who hasn't been proven like that, and then that manager wins something with that top class team, like
Mm-hmm.
they've won a title, that manager won a title.
Yeah.
Is that manager a top class manager, or did they just have the like resources and tools in place to win something. And then another
Mm.
thing, like there's some managers who have done extremely well, but then
Yeah.
they move to a team who's not so big, and then they don't really win anything. So people are
Mm.
questioning how good are they actually. So
Like Ancelotti,
okay, that for the ignorant people who might or not know what he's achieved
honestly.
and then think, yeah, he's only at
Mm.
Everton, or even Rafa Benitez, like at Newcastle
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But then I'm Lampard is the one who kind of triggered the question because they're like, okay, he played for Chelsea, but then he managed Derby, and
Mm.
he didn't win at Derby, but he got them to the playoffs. So like
Mm.
he's got some credentials of like managing a team, and he has what tactics that he's had to put in place. But
Mm.
people make it so much different from Pep. Like I don't I don't I don't think Pep should have been in that Barcelona job any more than Frank was at Chelsea. S- Pep was a
I get what you
Barcelona
mean.
legend. But if that
So you're
if it
saying
goes
that
well with Chelsea for Frank,
If Pep deserves that Barcelona job, Frank
yeah,
deserves the Chelsea job.
yeah.
Mm.
If it goes well with Chelsea for Frank,
Mm.
and I know these are all hypotheticals, then everyone's saying he is a good manager. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
and the thing is, because they want him out
Mm.
for a lot of people want him out in the next season, he can change things around. But then
Mm.
in this, if he gets sacked before he's able to change it around, then he's
Mm.
considered bad.
Mm.
Do you know
Mm.
football is such a funny thing? Like Barcelona they won the Champions League before Pep joined. It
Mm.
wasn't like he was like taking over a struggling team. Chelsea,
Mm.
I guess, is a bit more difficult because they were well before Frank came. What like Sarri was managing, and
Mm.
yeah, like they won Europa League. They weren't doing very well, for instance. So yeah, like I think it's too early to before 3 years to say whether someone's
Mm.
good enough or not, and whether they
Mm.
have the credentials. Do you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, I get what you mean. I think with Frank, um, I think the issue with Frank is how much he spent and the job that he has. I
That's
think
the money. Yeah.
Chelsea's module is to always just change players as soon as possible. Like
Mm.
Chelsea, I mean managers, sorry, as soon as possible. Chelsea's never been the kind of team where it's like they see how a project works. They've
Yeah.
had managers literally come and manage 30 games. Even even Sarri's literally been sacked after winning a title.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they literally do not give managers time.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
It is just the Chelsea module. So I think
They
that's where
don't have
his issue
history.
comes.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They
That's
don't.
why.
You can't apart from okay, they have Mourinho. But
Mm.
even Mourinho, the greatest manager, was sacked, brought back in, sacked again.
Mm.
They don't
Mm.
have they don't have a Wenger, even a Sir Alex Ferguson, even I'd even class like Rafa Benitez
Mm.
for Liverpool.
Mm.
They don't have that kind of like manager where they can be like, oh yeah, that manager, he I can't even
Has stayed,
explain it,
stayed
but
stayed
he
for a long period of time. Yeah.
stayed for a
Substantial.
long period of time, like a substantial period of time, oversaw a lot in the club. Like even Klopp now at Liverpool and
Mm.
even
They stayed
Man
quite a
City
long.
with Pep,
True.
they've been
True.
there quite some time. And Chelsea haven't. Chelsea are not that team. Chelsea don't keep managers for that long. And it's a case of where people are wondering, is Abramovich about to change his module for Frank?
Yeah, because
Will it
like he
work?
obviously likes him because he was one of the mainstays of like
Mm.
Chelsea's success. And do you know what I realized? Because I stumbled across a Liverpool documentary. I think
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a 30-year wait. 30-year wait.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually interesting. To be fair to them, it was actually interesting. But I learned a bit, and like
Mm-hmm.
I despise the club, but I respect them. I respect
Mm-hmm.
obviously the history and like in terms of
Yeah, it's a historic
like
club.
the Hillsborough disaster and stuff like that. But obviously they went through a lot after the Hillsborough disaster, and like things weren't the same in the dressing room, and like after Kenny Dalglish left, Graham Souness was manager for a couple of years, like but all of the
Mm.
people who were European champions for a while had gone, and it's like
Mm.
they didn't have the ability to maintain, so they started getting like sixth place and stuff like that. Anyway, Man
Mm.
United, needless to say, started taking over. Um, and so I was looking at just the history of teams in England, and like yeah, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, pretty much like the biggest three. Then
Mm,
then you got Chelsea and Man City, and then like Tottenham and Villa, like pretty
mm,
and Everton. So it's like those eight pretty much like who are kind of
mm,
away from any other pack, right? And
mm,
but because Chelsea and City were at that level just before, they were kind of just before just below Tottenham and Villa, but they're playing
mm,
catch up. So they didn't have
mhm,
time to have a manager in place for donkey's years. They needed immediate success if they were to have any chance of catching up with Man United,
mhm,
Liverpool, Arsenal, that sort of thing.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
I get why they have that model, but
Mm.
and Chelsea never managed to stumble across a manager who so Mourinho doesn't really stay at clubs for that long anyway. Whereas
No, he doesn't.
and things sort of kind of go downhill.
Mm.
So with Pep, he was at Bayern and then he stayed until he was doing well until the end, right? And then with Mourinho, so yeah, with Mourinho, it's like he
Mm.
didn't I don't even know how to put it. Like you don't know that if he stays longer, things are gonna go better for him. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's why with Chelsea, that a manager where you know things are gonna continuously be good. I think that's
yeah,
why.
yeah. That's true. That makes sense. But I think this time with Frank, I think Abramovich might stick because I think Abramovich is tired of buying so many players. Then
Mm.
another manager comes in next season, buys another big bunch of players. Another manager comes next season, buys another, and it's
That's
always just the same with Chelsea. And I think this time it's accepting that they're not going to have trophies for a little bit,
mm.
but getting that module because I think once Pep and Klopp move on, I do believe Ole, Arteta, and Frank are going to be the top three because I
Interesting.
think Man City and Liverpool will have a rebuilding process
Yeah,
because no
that's
team
true.
can consistently maintain it, and especially the way football is nowadays. Not going to be not in a mean way, but the talent isn't there. The talent pool is not as great as what it used to be.
But
It's not the kind of thing.
I just feel like that's why people put the likes of Salah and Mane to like a really high standard, just because the talent pool is not as much as it was.
Mm. I mean, Salah's numbers and Mane's numbers,
Ridiculous.
just
Yeah,
talking about statistics, so they are ridiculous.
yeah, 100%.
But if you go back to the times where, let's just go back to the times of Ruud van Nistelrooy, Henri, Bergkamp, Lundberg, all these players, would they be classed as top players? I don't know. Would they even play the same? Because the game is different now as well. Is that defenders now don't really go in for challenges the way that you used to.
Yeah, you have to adapt to the
How would they go?
situation you're in. Like,
They have adapted the situation they're in, but giving them their numbers, I think they are some of the greatest players that we have. Some of the greatest players that we have seen. I think there's a certain bracket where you have Lewandowski, Ronaldo, Messi. Then I think there's another bracket where you have maybe I don't even know who to put there. So like the world class to me at the moment are Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo, Lewandowski. Those four I think are untouchable. I don't think
mm,
there's players that do it like they do it at the moment. Then I think below that, maybe you start to look at Salah.
yeah, for me, the reason why I just feel like they're not game changers. I feel like they're not the type where they were just blessed with the football gene. Like their ball control isn't like second to none. They're very very good players and very efficient, and
Mm,
they work well in the system. Whereas like when I see, you know how being a football freestyler is different to being
mm-hmm.
a great footballer, but
Yeah.
I want to see elements of what a football freestyler can do in the best players.
Mm,
That's
mm,
what it is. So um, sometimes people say Neymar's a show pony and that, but then
mm,
obviously he produces output as
mm,
well. Like he's got
mm,
the balance. Um, so when I think about what Pogba can do with a ball, and
mm-hmm,
then just compare it to Salah,
mm,
I don't see Salah being a game changer like that. I'm
mm.
not afraid of him. I know he can get a tap in. I know he can like just
He can score worldies too.
you need to mark him out the game.
Mm,
But like Neymar playing in the Premier League, I know he will still be dribbling past bare man and Messi and
Mm,
these sorts of players, So
mm.
that's why I feel like, yeah, the talent pool is not as
Would
much.
you okay? Would you say that Salah is more like Bruno, less like Pogba,
Um, nah,
or
not
would you
even.
say that would you say Bruno and Pogba are better than Salah?
I think Bruno and Pogba are better than Salah. Yeah. Not that Salah. Yeah. That's what I think. I think Mane is more
Or
so
you
of someone
talking?
who can change a game, like in terms of
Oh,
being
no, I don't.
unpredictable.
I think it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around.
I definitely think
We
Salah is a more of a goal scorer, but in terms of
and that's what
shifting
changes
past
the
the man,
game.
but I don't know though. Like it's like Inzaghi. Like
Mm.
you can tap in a goal, but
But
okay.
then,
So if I was to say, okay, sure, you have to mark one of
mm,
these two men. Who am I more
mm.
afraid of? It's Mane for me. That's what it is.
Okay, today who scored against you guys?
Yeah, Salah scored two. Salah scored two.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying is that the more likely person to change the game and put the game in Liverpool's favour is Salah more than Mane. Because for me, I didn't see much of Mane this game, but I saw Salah. And
Yeah,
every
Mane
time
didn't
I
start doing it.
fair,
Salah played the
but
whole
even
game.
still fair. But again, even like towards the end when Mane came on, I still feel like he didn't have much of an impact. I feel like Salah always has an impact.
I
Salah on his
the
day
but the thing
has
is
an
that I'm not
impact.
saying Mane is that guy either, though. I'm just saying he's
Mm.
more of that guy. So
He's
I
more
don't
likely,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind you saying this. I just don't think either of
Mm.
them are like creme de la creme, but they really work
Mm.
well in
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Liverpool's
When you say
system.
that, I agree. I agree. I don't think neither of them are creme de la creme. I think yes, what you said there is Liverpool have a system. You could put Pepe in that system, he would score goals.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe not as much this season, yeah, but like I just feel it in general. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's
I
interesting. I
think.
think I saw some. I was reading the book here, and it said something
Mm,
like the FSG group, like who are sick by the way, they kind of planned for Liverpool to win this season, and then
mm,
like not win next season, and then rebuild, and then
mm.
win the
Win.
season after. And when I was reading it, I
Mm.
was like, "Rah, you're that confident that you could just switch on, like just choose when you want to win the league and not."
Yeah.
I was like,
No, I
"Rah,
genuinely, I think,
they need a
genuinely
rebuild
speaking, I
for
don't
sure."
think, I think they're gonna have a rebuild. I think they're not gonna win the league for some time. Not some time, but like maybe 3, 4 years. I think mainly because of the talent pool. I don't think the talent is there. I think the next generation of talent, like we said last week,
Mm,
was the Sakas, the Greenwoods. That's the next generation where there's going to be like some serious talent because this Odegaard guy, he's 22.
mm.
We're about to see if he's a baller or not. If he comes through and he balls out for Arsenal, he's in that generation of potential future ballers. Because again, we still have
Well, he's
Haaland.
been in that
We still
generation though. To be fair,
who
like he was that wonder kid from 16, Odegaard. It's
yeah,
mad, isn't
yeah,
it?
he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But
we'll see.
it just hasn't kicked off for him
Yeah,
at
they kicked
Barcelona
off. Yeah.
at Real Madrid, sorry.
Mm.
But apparently his loan spell at Real Sociedad
Sociedad was
was
good.
sick.
Sick. Yeah.
And so therefore I'm interested to see what he brings because again, Dennis Suarez was meant to be a talent. He came through, didn't really do anything.
I.
Emery did zero for me.
You don't have the same
And
energy with Arteta, though. Is it
I
because of the FA Cup? Is it because of that?
no, but how can I have the same energy for I said to you, like I said last week, I can't judge a man that's only been in a job for six
Oh,
months
yeah, fair.
through a global pandemic. I can't judge him. He hasn't had a preseason.
When you put it that way,
Yeah. And even still, he won an FA Cup. So
uh,
even still, no matter what anybody tries to say to me, yeah, is that
mm,
when you look in England, the best league is the Premier League. The second best cup is the FA Cup.
mm, mm, mm.
Why am I going to be upset at my man for winning the second best league cup in the country?
Yeah, fair enough.
And then on top of that, keeping Aubameyang signed down when Barcelona apparently were after him,
Mm.
getting rid of the deadweight Ozil, Kolasinac, Socrates, possibly now Mustafi as well, Torreira, maybe Guendouzi, getting rid of a lot of players that were dead wood in the team.
Mm.
And then on top of that, he's attracting Danny Ceballos. He's attracted Martin Odegaard. He's attracting players from big teams that actually think, right, I'm coming to Arsenal. Arsenal are 10th. And this man's convincing them to come and play
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
Arsenal.
Yeah, big club status, don't it? Big club
Exactly.
status.
But then the thing is, I think big club status also comes with your manager because you can have big club status. For example, United under Moyes,
Mm.
big players weren't coming during that time.
We
You were
got man,
attracting
one matter though.
Fellaini.
We got one matter. No, we weren't attracted for lady. Boys was in such a love. He didn't know where he was. he was like a lost schoolboy. Like he didn't know how he found himself in the situation to be at Man United. He wanted Fellaini. It wasn't like, who he linked for. But that's what he wanted. He thought that was a caliber the club needed. Fam, that guy just needed to. I'm so glad. West Ham is his level, innit? That's what I'm saying. West Ham is his level. Thank God he's not here anymore. Cause he was lost, fam. Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, when memes make things worse as well. Because I see it. His
Mm.
memes faces like he just looked. It just really personified his
You
whole
know when you
time
lie
there.
in your CV and you get the job. Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. So yeah, like but obviously we got one matter. We got Ander Herrera, like um, yeah, Man United's that team, and
Yeah. No. But
yeah,
no, I would. This is why I like Arteta, and I can't not back a man that's attracting players from bigger clubs than us.
mm, mm, mm.
I can't not. I can't not back him. I can't even like Martinelli. The fact that we pried him literally from Man United's playing training ground. For me,
Yeah, but we
that was a
didn't
big
want him
move.
there, to be fair. But yeah,
Well, you regret that now.
not really. No, we got Greenwood. Like,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Imagine having Greenwood and Martinelli. But
That's
okay.
not deep. Got other players. Got
Okay.
Diallo. Like, okay, so,
Okay.
Arsenal.
Okay.
Arsenal fans
Martinelli is
are
better than
funny.
Taylor.
Arsenal fans are so funny, but yeah, man,
Bro,
keep on.
Martinelli is cold.
I'm not
Martinelli
saying
is
he's not
cold.
cold. He's good, yeah, but it's not that deep. It's not. I'm not sweating. I'm not like, come on, bro.
You will
Like,
one day.
okay, like,
Remember this. But nah,
yeah.
I genuinely speaking, like I'm happy that we have been. Actually, no, I lied. Martinelli was bought by Emery. Actually, interesting.
You're going back on yourself. I no, but I
But no,
one
I
thing.
don't respect Emery.
Fair enough, fair enough. One thing I wanted to end on, yeah,
Mhm.
was obviously I made a comment last week about my thoughts on England winning the next one of the next three major tournaments, yeah, and it got not backlash, but yeah, people were like, "Oh, you crazy? You're crazy?" And
Yeah.
I know I'm definitely not crazy. So I wanted to pose it to you. Who do you think will be in the mix and will challenge England in the next three tournaments,
France.
and why?
Not challenging them, but actually go and win it.
Mhm.
I think France might win it. I think France have a very good
And
pool of players coming again.
and also, why do you think England won't be there? So not
Because
just
do you know what it is? Is there's something about England that's always just not there.
well, like
And I
Tottenham.
think, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stop it. That's the thing. I don't have a
Yeah,
problem with Tottenham, but I knew that would trigger you.
yeah.
The way you
No,
said
but you know,
yeah. You said that with your gut. You said that with your gut.
yeah, no, yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly like that. Like Tottenham have the players, but
Let's not make it Tottenham though. Let's just
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, let's go back to England. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they do have a lot of talent. Like I look at their whole team and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people in that under 25 bracket
mm,
that are going to be stars.
you
But I
see,
feel
yeah.
like there's just something in England that just never clicks. Whether it's the manager, whether they're going to be under poor management, whether it's the selfishness that we experienced during the Gerrard and Lampard era,
Mm.
there's going to be
We don't
something
really
that's
have
going to
that
hinder
now
them.
though. That's the thing. And there's less
Mm.
pressure because it's not a golden generation, even though they won the under 17s World Cup. Like
But
we talk
but
about
you know what
them
the media's like.
crumbling or what putting the pressure. But people say
Yeah.
that, and I still think it's another fallacy. Like,
Mm,
because you see pundits, yeah,
mm,
pundits, they're just ex-players who people know, and so they share their opinion. But they say dumb stuff, and they
mm,
just point out the obvious. All they do is say what they see, and they
mm,
don't read between the lines. They don't think about one decision meaning another thing, or
mm,
this player playing there meaning that so and so. And so when they have opinions about England, like I don't I don't listen to it at all.
yeah.
I also think that every country puts pressure on their players. We're just in England, so we hear the pundits, we
Mm.
hear the media and the expectation they put. I'm
But
so
then the
sure
thing
it's
is
like that
that
in France.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it is everywhere, but I feel like the pressure that comes from the English media,
Mm.
it's what's the word?
I don't
It's
think there
not
is
bad.
one.
So, for example, let's take it for example with like Germany.
Mm.
yeah, is when the German media are talking about it, they're talking about Neuer, currently one of the best goalkeepers, or if not the best goalkeeper.
Mm.
They're talking about Joshua Kimmich. They were talking about like when Mesut Ozil was like top assists. They were talking about that Mesut Ozil.
Mm.
They were talking about Thomas Muller in his prime. They were talking about certain players that were
Mm.
actually like really like winning Champions Leagues, winning titles, winning all these different things. So it was like they can go the whole way. Because one thing about winning titles is it's not just that one game, it's in your system. You have to have won a number of titles. I think it's harder for a team, especially like an England team, to go into it with two or three people that won titles and eight men that haven't. Whereas when you're going, like I say, when you go to the German team, you're talking about Neuer's won the Champions League, Merzel's won the Champions League,
Okay. So
Muller's won this. So there's so many title winners that they know
yeah.
what it takes to get to the end.
So you think
So
it's
I
the
think,
issue with the league then?
yeah, I think the only way that England can ever
It's a good
combat
point.
that is if England gets more players playing for teams like Bayern Munich, playing for teams like Barcelona. So I'm really glad that Jadon Sancho actually went to Dortmund. I think that's made him
That's
a
a
better player.
that's a good analysis, Sean. See, that's why you should be a pundit more than all of these ex-players, fam. Some of them are
But
good.
I think that's
Rio's good,
I genuinely, yeah, Rio's good. Shout out Rio.
but yeah. So okay, but with that though, there are obviously some
Mm,
players who have only played for one or two teams, like Spain.
mm,
Like,
mm,
so it's not about going abroad. It's they're playing for a winning club. So say
mm,
if Man United's team were comprised of what, 7 English players, and then maybe
mm,
Liverpool, right? Like then we'll have a stronger chance of winning. If Man United will win a league every season
mm,
and Liverpool or something
yeah,
or
yeah,
Arsenal and the players
mm,
played for them, then
yeah,
because okay, with that, when we were having our golden generation, yeah, with
mm,
like yeah, Lampard, Gerrard, etc.
mm, mm,
Gerrard won Champions League. Lampard was winning Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Terry
mm.
won, Ferdinand was winning league titles season in, season out. So I don't know how true that is. Like,
But then the thing is like it's hard to say it, but it's like they weren't the best in the world. If that makes sense.
but they
So
were.
like
That's the period where the Premier
so
League was at its strongest. Every
mm,
season, remember that time. Every season,
oh yeah,
at
true.
least 3 teams were in the semi-final from the
But
Prem.
then but then maybe that generation was to do with management because who was manager at that time? Wasn't that Sven?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe that.
But he
That's what I
had a
mean.
good
And yeah,
reputation, though. That's the thing. He
but
actually had a good
that's what I'm
reputation.
saying. Is that with England, it just seems like there's always something. And
Something.
again, coming back to that time as well, when you're talking about Lampard and all those guys, you're talking about they were playing in a generation which had Ronaldinho.
Mm.
It had
Flair play.
that
That's a
that
game
that
changer. About
Brazil
Mane and
team
Salah, please.
was stupid. Because even still, if you remember the stupidest goal I've ever seen in my life is Ronaldinho chipping
Free
David
kick.
Seaman from a free kick.
Yeah.
Chip
Mm.
from a free kick. The ball's standing still. There's no movement, and you got chipped, bro. The stupidest goal, and that's what I mean. Like the ability of the players back then was one of the reasons why that England team didn't win it. Although they
Okay,
were good, there
but
were players.
I don't know. I just feel like England won the under 17 World Cup. They've got a
Mm,
generation who have won something that are coming through. That's the
mm,
likes of Foden, Sancho. They've got
mm,
Greenwood. They've got.
Mount.
Do you know what I'm saying? Was he in the? Well, he might have been in the under 23,
Mm,
under 21 World Cup winners. But
mm,
that's what I'm saying. They've got winners of an
mm,
international tournament, like regardless of whether it's under
mm.
a certain age group.
Under
So
yeah.
do you know what? Yeah, my secret of why I feel it's going to be the case, yeah, because I think about things. Germany had the whole rehaul, and then because like the 2006 World Cup didn't go well, so they had like got they won the under 18 or 17 World Cup,
Mm,
and then they won the World Cup in 2014.
mm,
France won the 17 World Cup under 17 World Cup, and then they won the World Cup in 2018.
mm.
Then the next under 17 World Cup was won by England. So I'm not even saying that they're going to win this World Cup per se.
But you're right. I think if this generation doesn't win it, I don't see
Ever.
where they're gonna. To be fair, I don't even know from the golden generation not winning it. Even Rooney's generation was pretty good, and
Yeah,
it's one of those things where
and he
it's
was
like,
part of the golden generation. He was just the youngest, isn't it? So
yeah,
but he was injured a lot. But I think like
mm,
just because they're not all full of stars right now, but they're quality players. They've got Grealish, Foden, like
But even
they
so, think
got
about no.
Rice. They got Kane, they got like Rashford, Sterling. They've got a good like creative players. Madison, and like
But then, and the thing is, like you're saying, I don't know where it is because even like for them to have lost to Croatia, was it
mm,
Croatia? Yeah,
mm,
Croatia. It was just like, what was it that Croatia had that England didn't have? England definitely had a better team on paper,
mm.
but Croatia, it's like Arsenal versus Southampton this weekend.
But it's a
It's
growing
just one of those
process,
things.
isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
but it
why
is what
that's
it
why I
is.
feel like this is a
No,
team
no,
that's
no, no,
growing
no. I'm not
together.
agreeing. I'm not agreeing with you. I'm
It's
not
it's
agreeing with you.
it's
But
it's
yeah,
a growing process. Like
no,
you
no.
don't like win straight away. Like they definitely weren't ready for that tournament, like to win it.
Mm,
So they obviously
mm,
were punching. But yeah,
mm.
anyway, that's my opinion. And yeah, let's wrap it up, man. Like,
Yeah,
quick
that
fire
was.
one. We're playing you soon. That's mad.
We
So
are.
let's not ask about that. Who's your next fixture?
He's our next session. Let me find out.
We got
I
Sheffield
can't even
United.
remember.
So I'm hoping
I
that
don't.
we,
Yeah, that should be a W for you.
no, we need to try and get 3 points there, innit? Like
Yeah.
we
Oh,
just need to keep
Southampton,
on trying.
of course.
Yeah.
Southampton
Oh,
on
is it?
Tuesday.
It's so weird when the
Mm.
FA Cup fixtures are the same as the league. So
Yeah,
what's your
but I
prediction?
think honestly I'm gonna go for a draw. No,
Mm.
no, no, no. Go for a 2-0, 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, cool,
Because yeah, 2-1 Arsenal, 2-1 Arsenal. What about you?
cool. And on that note, I
What are
don't
you
even
going for
talk. So
your
we don't talk
Newcastle?
too much. We don't even talk too much. Still, we don't
Man
talk.
United are trying to move in silence.
We don't talk too much, innit? But yeah, that's been another episode of Away Games podcast. Um, tune in to our show next week,
Next week.
and yeah,
Yeah.
stay safe, people. Bow.
Love, peace, and unity.